5 was like tweak, right?
Yeah, just
Like,
some changes.
They
basically.
changed some small things. So I understand the reasoning is
Well,
like
they made Doom a monster.
you don't want to change the game too much before a huge tournament's coming. And obviously we're here looking at the regional qualifiers for majors, so that makes sense. But it still to me is like the same patch. It's not like they changed a ton. You know, they didn't rework my Bloodseeker to be a god, and then...
And it was already a patch where hero diversity was pretty high relative to past patches. So you couple that with a new patch, and it creates this... It's like a stimulus package, you know? Everybody's just picking crazy shit.
They just cut off, like, the top-tier heroes a little bit. Maybe a little bit too much in some
I'm not going to lie, I got pretty tired of Storm, though. I'm glad he got kicked in the nuts with the
He isn't that... It's not that bad.
Really? You don't think so?
His laning is just worse.
Yeah, if he can get to the late game, he's still the
mana nerf on his ult does... It's also the Bloodstone change, though. That's the other thing that hurts him.
I think he's still the exact same.
It's like 1 second off respawn, right?
Something like
That's
that,
the big difference, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's noticeable for sure. And it's a lot harder to get away with laning him, but...
I also want to point out that Gordietz has now changed his name to have a T instead of a C. I think he got tired of all the non-Cyrillic folk calling him Gorek.
To be honest, it's totally unintuitive for people who don't actually know the language.
Well, yeah, I mean, like it's hard, but...
You know, Avon?
Avon? Oh, right. Yeah.
His name is spelled U-B-A-H.
Well, that's like the guy Chapeau, his name is Tron, but it's
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, the people who don't actually study the language, it's very hard for us to understand what that means.
Oh, yeah, it's hard, but I mean, just imagine if every time you saw Draskell, people were just like, who's that Askell guy?
Everybody who comes into my stream who's never seen it before, they say the same thing. They say, I thought you were Russian. Apparently, my name sounds Russian to Russian people.
Draskell?
Didn't Puppy say Draskul?
Yeah, but he thinks I'm an Egyptian pharaoh, so...
Are you?
Maybe.
You could be. So, all right, check this out. Tusk Undying, the opener for NaVi. Crazy.
We talked about the aggression. And
I like this, though.
These heroes, even Io, like, all these heroes bring so much aggression.
I mean, it's just a reaction to the Wisp, I feel. Like, when you see that lane, you're pretty much guaranteeing one of two things. You're going to put the Undying where the Wisp is, or you're going to put the Tusk where the Wisp is. Or potentially both. Now, in this case, because CIS rejects are most likely to put that combination mid, it just means you can have one of the two sitting there, and then you have a ranged hero farming mid, maybe a Shadow Fiend, you know, maybe a Viper even, because he's great against Tiny.
Yeah.
And then you pretty much win that lane. That's kind of how it works.
What do you think about the Earthshaker support against like the Tiny Wisp dual lane mid? So you can kind of sit back, break up the fight a little bit if Tiny wants to knuckle up?
I think the biggest problem with Shaker early game is that you don't really want to be... Like, you can camp a lane. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think you want a hero who can actually be in there and do more than just fissure. Because say you're mid, right? How do you block anyone mid? Like that area is so wide open that you have to pretty much be behind them in order to get something that's going to be block worthy. And if there's just an Undying standing there, he pretty much accomplishes the same thing without having to fissure. He just stands there and is like, oh, you're standing together, decay. Much easier to use than a fissure.
That's true. Much shorter cooldown as well.
Yeah. Witch Doctor is actually a good shout as well. I really like
Witch Doctor is good.
I like it against
he's fallen off in general, and I feel like he's still quite strong. Even, I mean, he's good with Wisp against Wisp in general, but what happened to Witch Doctor, man? He's got the sustain with the Poodoo restoration.
We still see him a good bit. Like, he still
was picked today.
Yeah, if you want to do pushing strategies and stuff like that, he gives you a lot of sustain. He has really good team fight. So his ulti is extremely powerful.
I think he fits into this meta right now where it's like that 15 to 25 minute window when you really need to win team fights. So that's like, he's pretty strong in that window. And if you win those fights, you can get an Aghanims quickly.
I think maybe one of the biggest reasons, like, I don't consider him tier 1, but it's close. Like, he's up there, but he's definitely not tier 1 in my opinion. Mainly because his laning phase is actually deceptively weak. He doesn't do a ton of damage. He needs levels very badly. No, I'm talking about Disruptor.
I thought we were talking about Witch Doctor.
Oh, you're talking about Witch Doctor still.
We're all talking.
Yeah,
It's all Witch Doctor all day. Baby.
All right.
The dreaded dreads, dude.
For Witch Doctor, yeah, he's a really...
Same point.
He's not super strong in lane, but I think Voodoo Restoration is good, and also, like you mentioned, it's really good against the Wisp and the Tiny, but...
Maldek's also good against those tanky beefcakes early on. Underestimated spell.
I think it could be because he's not good enough at sustaining to warrant picking him over something like Dazzle, which obviously is banned here. But...
And Bane as well. I think Bane could be a massive pickup for CIS rejects.
Or NaVi, honestly.
Yeah, it's good for both teams.
Depends on if that Tusk is offlane or not.
But it's extremely good with IO Tiny. You know, you can set up a relocate gank with even a Nightmare or a Fiend's Grip.
Yeah.
You can also... like sleep someone as they initiate with Snowball. You know, it buys you that window to kind of get some spells off.
Yeah. Are you guys sold on the Undying this patch? I still have trouble determining how strong he actually is.
I think he's so good.
Last patch he was obviously incredible. Now I haven't seen him work enough times to really be confident.
He actually got buffed though. That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Because his tombstone takes what 7 hits now
Yep.
at max level to kill, which in late game actually buffs it because before it would just get 1 shot.
Exactly.
Right. So that's a late game buff. The Aghanims thing is a mid to late game buff on top of that. So you steal 10 strength now on decay instead of just getting 4, and that's all the time. It's completely independent of you having Flesh Golem active. So that to me actually screams that the hero is just better.
The biggest thing as well is the Soul Rip. Actually, the way it heals the tombstone, it refreshes attacks.
Yeah.
So therefore, it actually. Oh, I was playing against you today, and you attack it like 6 or 7 times, and it instantly heals it back to full life. And you're like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, it's weird. Tombstone heal, it does at level 4, it does 8, so
8.
it always full heals it because it only has 7 ticks.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's insanity.
it's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But here we go, Andy, the Andy Mage.
I'm a fan. I like this hero.
Okay.
I mean, it looks like me, which is obviously amazing.
It looks like capitalist,
Yeah,
not like you
seriously.
anymore.
Okay, well, if I could grow hair out of the top of my head.
But you can't, so you will know.
Why
never
do you just
look
gotta
like
cut me
Anthony.
so deep like that?
I'm not gonna look like Wisp.
All right,
I
fair
can't
enough.
glow that brightly.
Fair enough.
I'm thinking of that dolphin episode of South Park. Just like, I just want to be a wisp so bad. I need a bathroom just for wisps. And there we go. I'm glad we talked about him.
Yeah.
The Witch Doctor comes in.
Yeah, I think the Anti-Mage is a really strong pick, though, against these types of heroes, because, A, you already have Tusk and Undying, so your team fight is pretty good. Witch Doctor is also good in the 5 versus 5 if you can get a good Death Ward channeled. AM is very hard to track down, even for a Wisp and a Tiny. So, like, you try to relocate, AM's just going to blink away. If he has good map awareness, which I'm sure that will probably be the case. Well, it is Havos. Maybe he just will casually be looking at the Facebook thing, apparently. There was some weird Reddit post where somebody was flaming him, saying that he would always read, like, the Russian equivalent of Facebook, like, between games.
I always heard that the Peruvian players did that a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
I forget who told me that, but when they were boot camping for the Summit 2, they were just... get a kill? Alright, let's see. Any updates on Facebook?
Yeah, pretty much.
Good stuff. Centaur, though, man.
I really like this pick, actually. Hey, especially against Tuskar. You know, if they snowball and you can just center rotate away, and then all of a sudden the complete
Oh yeah,
initiation-
they did tweak the snowball on 6.85, so now you can actually get away from it now.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
I like that.
It's really good. A lot of burst damage to deal with Undying. You know, you don't want to let them.
It actually allows them to take fights so easily.
Yeah, you don't like the one thing against Undying. You don't want to let them sustain in the fights and just kind of let it keep going because the decay will keep stacking up. You want to just burst them down, get them out of the fight straight away.
Yeah.
Okay. Big Brad.
Husker ban, interesting.
I actually do like Centaur with Tiny as well. Tiny's fundamental problem is getting kited, so Stampede kind of helps.
Yeah, with the Wisp though, he's pretty fast. Grow also gives you 60 movement speed at level 3, so you're actually running like on average over 450 movement speed, even without like a movement speed item. I mean, the biggest issue I think that Tiny actually has is like in the early game. If you don't have Wisp, obviously it's really hard for you, but this game is probably going to be mid with the Wisp. So he actually doesn't really have a glaring weakness, in my opinion, with these kinds of lineups.
Okay.
It's kind of just like your mana problem.
I mean, they could last pick Viper.
He just got a base int buff too, so you can't even make the excuse of, oh, I don't have mana to combo anymore, because you just got int.
What level can he do the full combo now if he has no stat items?
I think it's 2 or 3. He might actually have enough mana at level 2, I can't remember.
No,
it's
3. It's 3.
Because he got like 3 or 4 int or something like that, level 1. But either way, it's like, you're not going to combo at level 2 most of the time anyway.
Right.
Unless the hero is super low. I think he has more starting int right now than Crystal Maiden.
10 seconds.
That's not saying much. She's been dumbed down.
So
patch
Dota
after
is
patch.
basically telling us that a blonde is dumber than a rock.
Oh, that's harsh.
How is that even a thing?
You
like,
had to
how can
take
you
it
let
there.
that happen?
How At least you're not as confused as Lumi, who thought 40% of the Dota heroes are women. Were you not listening to the panel when he said that? He's 40% are female. I'm like, Lumi, it's like 15%.
I will not have anyone play me.
40%.
He's my baby.
He's like that.
He doesn't see gender. I like that.
Yeah,
you know?
he's
blind.
too
He's
innocent.
equal opportunity.
Yeah, he's too
That's
innocent.
good. He wants to believe.
So
So what are we looking at here? For Navi, they've got some flexibility. They really need a good mid laner here.
yes, they do.
I still think Shadowfiend's fine.
I think they're gonna pick Puck.
Puck? I love the hero.
I just like to hear Andy bitch about Puck.
It's just garbage. It really is just freaking garbage.
What's
Oh
up?
my god. Why? It's such a bad hero,
No, no, it's
actually.
not
It's
bad.
good against Centaur,
It's
against
good
Wisp,
against Centaur,
Tiny.
yeah. I'll give you that. It's good against
It's incredible.
It's okay for going on the Winter Wyvern. It's okay for going on the Wisp, like to be annoying inside of the team fights. I do agree with that in this scenario. Maybe I'm just jaded because I only play it in pubs.
I have a question for you, Andy. Okay. I haven't played Puck in a while. Against Winter Wyvern, when he curses someone and you're phase shifted, do you come out of phase shift to attack?
Yeah, it's like consistently refreshes. Like if you walk in range,
okay,
you get taunted, and if you come out, you get taunted.
Okay. So it's actually...
But it actually pulls Puck out of phase shift. Like
no, it doesn't. It doesn't pull him out because you're invulnerable during phase shift.
Okay, so
but once you come out, you will be attacked.
So if you phase shift and then someone Winter's curses right away, you're pretty much immune to the whole thing. Okay, so that's pretty good.
It's just like phase shifting a real taunt from Axe, for instance. Like it's the same thing.
Right. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, okay pick here. Classic Dendy hero.
I'd actually be happy if CIS did Centaur carry in this game and just picked a strong fighting offlaner.
You mean like Alliance style?
Yeah.
Position 1 center.
Well, like a Clockwork or something here.
Yeah, Clockwork would be pretty good, and maybe... Oh, Slardar.
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 A lot of Slardar picks today, actually.
Is this offlane Slardar? What do you think?
I think it's offlane sent.
I'm hoping here.
You want offlane Slardar?
I think it's pretty cool, actually.
I think it can be good. Yeah. I know that No Tail and Moo did it. I can't remember who else.
Moo was the one that was really known for it quite a bit.
Like No Tail did it first, and then Moo made it popular.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's always that race of like first to invent, first to popularize. Yeah. You know. Similar with Bone 7 and some of his Tiki Clockwork stuff.
Basically, he started doing it after. No, I think that's when No Tail started doing it after Amplified Damage first got buffed.
Yeah.
Because before it was like really poopy at level 1.
Yeah.
But then they made it like minus 10 armor at level 1, and I was like, holy crap, Slardar.
That's a lot of armor.
I like this NaVi draft a lot better. I feel like that 15-minute window is going to roll around, and they can just 4-man with the split push and anti-mage, and there's so much great team fight here.
Yeah, they really want to do like a 4 protect 1. Like this is very old school from NaVi, but I think it could actually work. The only thing that I'm kind of wondering is, did they actually have the damage output to kill the Tiny and the Centaur together? Like those are two very strong frontline heroes, right?
I think Undying is what tips the scales there. You can steal some of their strength, and once he gets the Flesh Golem, it's just... Hey, by the way, while I'm thinking about it, you guys feel like Flesh Golem should have a bigger graphic so people know that they're like getting amped? Do you think like that would make Pub Undying a better thing?
You go from like me to Slacks, right? Like Slacks is very huge, right? But I'm not saying it's like...
I make fun of him for being doughy all the time, and
he's almost cartoonishly large.
Doughy. He is cartoonishly.
His shoulders are massive,
and
he's got a big build, dude. He's broad. Yeah. He really is a.
Like if I was getting into a fight behind a bar, I would want Slacks on my side. So you're going from me to him, which I think is big enough of a difference.
Okay, so you think, well, it's more like showing the radius of the aura, because it's like. All right, he's big and fleshy, but you don't really think... It's sort of like
you mean you don't feel it.
Yeah,
it's like Sanj getting a graphic with it. Something like that. I feel like it's underrepresented when you're in a game. You don't realize...
Sanj does have a graphic.
It does now, but it didn't
before, No, I see what you're saying. But I think it's also kind of one of the things that maybe Ice Frog... I don't know if he said it himself, but maybe Valve said they don't like the visual clutter. Like originally they had auras below feet as well, like back in Warcraft 3 and stuff. And he said that he didn't like the fact that you could see all that stuff. And it also adds to kind of the skill of the game to be able to recognize those things when they're on you just by looking at a debuff instead of it's a visual.
I like that side of it though. I have trouble completely buying that, seeing all the latest Immortals that have come out that have turned some spells into disco.
Pay to lose. Pay to lose.
Pay to lose. Okay.
Yeah. Like the Marana arrow that had like that swirly effect around it that was like a beacon. It's like, why would you ever use that?
That's really good stuff. Yeah.
You know, back at one of the Dream Leagues, I was talking to Loda after one of the games, and he was saying the item just came out, and he thought it was a wisp heather, so he walked towards it. Because
and he got arrowed.
He got arrowed. He was
oh my god.
Wow.
That's actually the reverse stream.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. So guys, I'm observing right now. Wepis hooked me up with his cool little thing to just make it all scooty.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try my best here. I love this anti-mage, by the way, where you have your whole face covered. So most.
I like the fact that he's not using Golden Bashers. No sellout.
Does he have Golden Bashers?
I'm sure he does.
He has Golden Bashers. Let's be
definitely
real.
has Golden
Bashers. Let's be real. All right. If somebody's got the Golden Bashers,
you know what's a common misconception about Havos? Like he doesn't actually fight that much. In every tournament NaVi you're in, he's actually usually in the top 2 or 3 farmers, and he kills the most CS out of most carries.
Yeah.
No, he's an amazing farmer. There's no doubt about that.
But people just think of oats, they think fighting. You know, it just comes like hand in hand.
I think it's
hard to brand away from that stuff.
Yeah,
man.
it is. It really is.
It's kind of a positive and a negative thing for him because at TI3, the infamous alchemist almost getting a triple kill under his tier 1 power, like that kind of thing, makes everyone like, oh man, he's such a good aggressive carry. And yeah, sure, everyone at this level is going to have the ability to fight. They know how to fight. Right. It's just he gets it so much because a lot of the time he gets into situations where his team's behind, and then he has to go for very aggressive moves that kind of quote-unquote create space, but sometimes they don't work out, and that's where you get the 4 from. So it's kind of like being trapped between a rock and a hard place.
All right, so what do we have here? The off-lane Centaur, Tiny Wisp mid, and then what's our dual lane looking like? Winter Wyvern and Slada.
This lane is actually insanely hard for... It's not often that I look at a Tuscan Undying and I think to myself, this lane is actually not that good. But it's actually not that good because A, you're snowballing into potentially a hero who can stun both of you at the same time. Right. And if you do that and you're trying to go all in on one, the Wyvern just uses Cold Embrace. All your damage is kind of negated. You have to hope that Tombstone can stack up within that time to be able to get a kill. I actually feel that...
And actually, Winter Wyvern's great setup for the Slardar. You go Arctic Burn, Slardar goes Slytherin in, hits him with a Crush, and then, oh, maybe you've got a Cold Embrace as well for additional slow. Slardar gives him the old Trident to the back.
Yeah,
I like it.
I kind of disagree, to be honest. I think the decay on a strength hero is too much for us. And I think when the Arctic Burn is on cooldown, it's really, really difficult in lane.
The only thing is, like, how much regen did those two heroes bring? Like,
they have
No, I mean the dire side. Because they need to bring enough regen to counteract the Arctic
Mango.
Burn.
Both of them have a Mango and a Tango, and then they've got an extra healing salve there on old Undy.
So the nice thing about Wyvern is when Arctic Burn is up, if you just hit both of them once, you've dealt full damage.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
So if you can keep them low, then it will be easy. If you can't, then yeah, you might have some problems.
So, as a puck expert, Andy, how hard is this matchup? Uh-oh, Seneko, he's going to take the Slytherin Crush.
No burn.
Okay, all right, he's all right for now.
They're aware of this as well.
They're harassing pretty hard here. I like this. So how hard is this mid matchup, though? Puck versus these two. Can Puck do anything here?
You should never really die, but obviously getting farm is going to be a little bit tough. You should actually... Let's see. Does he actually have any help getting runes? I think that's going to be your biggest issue. He might have to be bottle crowing here, unless bottom lane can help him secure a rune.
I think Tusk can help him out a bit on the bottom rune. It's still hard, but...
Yeah, because I don't think top can rotate. I think he needs the AM there. Or the AM needs the Witch Doctor there.
Definitely, yeah.
Let's see how the
But he's
top
actually
lane...
farming quite well. He's 7-1 right now.
Yeah, that's surprisingly good, and he's keeping pace with the Tiny. Centaur, he's having a tough time, though. He's getting zoned out by Witch Doctor. Cute little monkey.
I think the real strength of the Tiny IO mid is when you just constantly toss creeps onto the other mid laner.
Yeah.
But Dendy being Puck can just phase shift it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And avoid most of that harass.
You
just have to be careful how close he stands.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Dendy in a little trouble. He's going to be able to orb away. No problemo.
Actually surprising that he ate that. It was very telegraphed.
Yeah. Iceberg's only level 3, though. That full combo hasn't really come online yet.
Yeah, it's not the combo itself, though. Like, it's not about the kill. It's about the fact that if he gets hit again, he is dead. So now he has to play super far back. He's not going to ferry himself a salve because he's too close to bottle, which means that he has to hope that either somebody comes to give him a little bit of relief.
He is ferrying himself.
Oh, wait, did he buy salve?
Yep.
What's the
Whose bottle is that? Is that his bottle?
That's Funnick's bottle.
Funnick,
okay. Did Funnick buy him a bottle? Sharing is caring, I suppose.
It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for him. You can just give it back to him later.
Uh-oh, stun onto Dendy. Phase shift. All right, he'll be able to Waning Rift back. Almost got tossed back to his Wisp friend. Oof. Well played, but that's tough.
I think with level 1 Avalanche, you actually pretty much always... Or level 1 Phase Shift, you always get it by Avalanche.
Yeah, you do.
At least a little bit.
Duration's not long enough.
Yeah. So you can deal some damage, but he should be able to phase shift the majority of it.
Would you ever think of getting more points into phase shift playing Puck here?
I think the silence is too important. Maybe you sacrifice like a couple points on the orb if you were going to do it. Because I think the duration of the silence on heroes like Wyvern and the Wisp is too important to sacrifice.
It scales so much too. Even just that second point makes such a big difference.
But the other thing too is you're also then completely relying on Blink Dagger for that kind of damage, unless you can land a YOLO coil.
Two-man crush bottom.
Uh-oh, down. Oh, come out the shards. Artez gonna be on the run here. Funnick.
The snowball.
Is he going to try to man up? Yeah, they will. Snowball in. Undying's got one bottle charge left. The Crush on 2. That's the old turnaround. Splinter Blast as well. They've already lost 1. Now Funnick up against the ropes. He's going to try and turn. Gets the decay on both heroes, but he has got nowhere to go. Slytherin Crush will miss. And it looks like there's a little lag on the field here, boys. Uh-oh.
That Crush was...
That was a rough Crush.
I mean, the Slaughter didn't have boots, right? And the sprint were off?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's actually not even as fast as the Undying anyway. I guess I can kind of forgive that.
Yeah, Undying doesn't have boots either, though, so it's a very minor speed boost that Funnick has. So he will actually end up living here. The power of the Undying in his decay stack. Still a first blood, though, and it does go the way of, well, the Radiant. So not ideal for the Slardar, but still pretty solid. We saw the power, though, of the Slithering Crush against this duo, and that is tricky.
It was a very uncharacteristic mistake, though, from Seneko, because he typically doesn't overextend like that.
Yeah, that was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, because as soon as I saw that snowball, I'm like, that's really aggressive if you do that. Because the thing is, Slithering Crush has a very short cooldown.
8 seconds.
Yeah, it's just up all the time, so you have to assume.
Centaur up top. Do we actually have the damage for this? No, Havo's only level 4. Okay.
Yeah, when Centaur runs out of mana,
the damage just disappears.
Exactly. Havos doesn't really do that much without mana break.
Yeah, Dendi getting harassed again here. Looks like Funnick did help him secure that bottom rune, perhaps. No, he's already had to throw the bottle charges. This is where things start to get rough for the puck. He was keeping up pretty well, but now the Tiny's pulling really far ahead, and Dendi has to play so defensive. The Iceberg ping in here. They're ready to have a go if Dendi steps forward.
Only one stack in the jungle, like that's kind of uncharacteristic of a Tiny Wisp, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, maybe focusing more on shutting down Dendi and trying to slow down that blink dagger.
They're not really, like, they're not stopping his experience gain, but they are stopping his farm.
So when you have a slow start like this on puck, what's the build? You still try to go for the blink dagger first?
Yeah,
can you go get away with brown boots blink, or do you just have to go power treads?
It's probably brown boots blink. Sometimes you get power treads in 1v1s when you want to like crush the lane harder. Like if you're already winning, then that's definitely a solid choice. But
it's not the recovery.
Yeah, you don't buy recovery treads. I don't feel.
I see.
Yeah, I think you talked about it in the draft. Sorry, when he gets that blink dagger, the actual power of this 4-man from NaVi is.
Yeah,
it's terrifying. Like Undying with puck. Well, you don't even need, like, you could even snowball to Dream Coil technically.
Yeah, or snowball into Waning Rift. Here we go. Dive under the tier 1 tower. Artez hits him with a crush, but the snowball comes cruising in. Shards block out the Slardar, and Funnick will drop the tombstone. Soul Rip up. Always Wanna Fly says, "Hey, that's some yummy gold right there," but won't be able to finish it off. And there will be no kill on the field following that engagement. Those shards were kind of interesting. It actually boxed the Slardar out. Seems like he almost wanted to trap him in so that he died at the tower.
Yeah, it could have been a misfire.
Yeah, it was
Van score with a casual haste rune to ward.
Oh, good. That's a speedy wisp right there.
Yeah, I actually think that the biggest thing for CIS rejects is Centaur hitting 6 and then what the Tiny Wisp can do. And the thing also that we have to keep in mind is Slardar can actually fight, whereas AM, he is notoriously bad at fighting without, like...
Oh, the coconut. So lucky here for the Dire side. Goriets will get off a stomp onto Havos and they won't dive it, but... Yeah. Unlucky bounce. Dendi mid. Oh my, just barely lives. The ball, not going to hit him. Dream Coil on 2, just for good measure here. They'll break the tether. Dendi will bottle up. Barely lives by the skin of his teeth. Again, just showing how difficult this lane has become.
He's still getting his experience, though.
Yeah.
I think it's fine for the time being.
The fact that Tiny hasn't killed him yet is pretty impressive, to be fair.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of heroes get spammed out, but as Shane said, you typically can just face shift any toss.
Oh, he missed the stun.
That would have been a kill.
Yeah.
Pump fake. Yeah. Points in the double edge.
Baiting out the sentry ward as well.
Very nice. Down bottom, a little bit of lane pull here. Always Want to Fly, sitting level 4. Artez just about to close in on level 6. That's when Slardar gets that kill power, though. The amp damage is... Well, hesitate to call it a value point, but minus 10 armor is huge at this stage.
It is actually a super value point.
Yeah.
It's pretty nuts. I mean, Undying, he's got even 6 armor with his Ring of Protection. That's not going to do the trick, buddy. Look at this. He's already picked up a smoke, though, 8-minute mark. They're gearing up to fight.
Showtime, boys.
Got that battle helmet on.
Radiant ward, though, spotting all the rotations.
Yep. So, okay, can I not draw on? Oh, there it is. Alright.
What do they do now? Did they try and pressure
Dendi?
the stacks? Is that what they do?
Well, Coil's going to be up again. They did reduce the cooldown last patch, so you have it on a more consistent basis. I think they were thinking about trying to shut down the Wisp Tiny before they hit 6, but they're not going to be able to do that. And the Tiny also picks up an Invis. He immediately pops it as well, and Dendi did not have vision of this.
Scary. Oh, Dendi.
Nice game sense, though.
Yeah, he'll back up.
Did you know if you're if Dendi denies a creep there, and there's no other people in lane, and your puck makes a noise, you know the deny sound?
Like that. Oh, down bottom. Hold on, though. Artez and Funnick are going at it. The amp damage. It's enough. Artez gets the kill. Now Seneko. He wants vengeance, but Cold Embrace will ruin that party. Dendi's come down. Coil only on 1. Artez's in a lot of trouble, though. Does end up falling. Good jaunt back to the backside. But now Iceberg's in. Oh, God. He'll bring down the Tusk. And they ping out the Tombstone to try to get some additional gold. Pretty good trade here for the CIS rejects. They will find the better of it.
Yeah, so what I was saying, if you deny a creep and he says like, haha, or whatever, you know there's an invis hero in the lane.
Yeah.
But if,
because it's a voice queue based on if somebody's actually there.
yeah,
Right,
exactly.
if you actually denied. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a nice little tip. The audio cues. All right.
So turn up your volume.
So turn up your volume. Well, the one good thing for NaVi here is Hvost has had basically free farm. He opted to go Power Treads as his first item instead of the fast Battle Fury, but everything going his way so far.
Yeah, it's a super standard build. I think sometimes people go Brown Boots into Battle Fury, but I really feel like even against an offlaner who's not doing great, having Treads is just invaluable for an anti-mage. It makes the last hitting easier. You can actually jungle some of the easier camps with Treads, Ring of Health, and Poor Man's with the Dwelling as well. And if you ever get forced out of lane, then having the Treads is going to be much more helpful than just having Brown Boots and like a Claymore or whatever.
They also have a lot of burst damage on the Radiant as well. If you have that strength, you have a lot more.
Yeah, that's true. So, Tiny, going for a slightly different build here. I'm getting used to this like Blink Dagger Bambo style. Oh, maybe hold that thought, Hvost. He wants to battle over this rune. He'll grab it. It's a bounty. Down bottom, Puck gets the regen, but Iceberg, he's going on in. There's the Stampede. PSM gets tossed up. And yeah, that'll be a dead Witch Doctor pretty easily. Hvost will just blink back to safety. And another one on the scoreboard here for the CIS rejects.
Do you go BKB in this game as anti-mage against Tiny, Andy?
I think just Manta's okay.
Okay.
The thing is, eventually you're going to have max points into Spell Shield. You're going to probably build Heart as well.
But I'm just saying, like, Craggy alone can pretty much...
If you're getting, like, hard pressured, then yeah, BKB could be good, for sure. But I think if you have space, then, like, Heart Butterfly or something is probably more reliable. Because if you have those items, like, CIS rejects actually have a pretty difficult time killing in late game. You're going to have to drop, like, Curse, Stomp, Amp, like, everything. You're going to have to throw the whole sink at him, pretty much.
So what do you think about drums on Tiny here? Do you like that better than the super mobility build we saw earlier?
I think he's going to go Blink after drums.
Yeah, he most likely will.
Okay.
I think in that particular game, like when Bambo went Force Staff, he had a very certain kind of role where he wasn't the hyper carry.
Right.
But in this lineup, Slardar is not actually a hyper carry, right? Like he's a fighting hero who can semi carry.
Hyper carry, that's good. Anti-mage is a hyper carry.
No, he's not a hyper.
Is that from Heroes in
Damn it. Okay. So explain what a hyper carry is then.
Okay, so a hyper carry is somebody who is 6-slotted and is ultra strong, like
Ember Spirit.
No. It's like
bad at
anti-mage.
Not okay. Anti-mage is a flash farming carry, which means that he can get 6-slotted faster than other heroes. But with 6 items, heroes like Void and Spectre still mess him up really bad, right? So those 2 heroes are considered hyper carries because their late game is almost unmatched, right?
Okay. Medusa's
so
not on that list?
No, Medusa is on that list.
Okay.
Because she becomes like unbelievably tanky. So they all have like 1 strength, right? Like Spectre, her late game is she can deal insane amount of damage to your entire team just by hitting R. She's insanely hard to kill, and by dealing damage to her, you also hurt everyone on your team.
Right.
Void has arguably the best ultimate of any carry, just because it can single-handedly win you a team fight. Right. But he also has Backtrack, which is pretty much built-in evasion on steroids, and he has a built-in bash. Tim a hyper carry.
Right.
But AM has none of those things. AM has the ability to farm super fast and can split push, which is why he's not considered a quote-unquote hyper carry.
All right, that makes sense. So are there's only 3 hyper carries? Is that what you're telling me?
I could be missing one actually.
Is Phantom Assassin?
Not really. PA's too hard countered by MKB to be considered that.
I mean, Ember isn't in the sense that he can't just like man fight a Spectre that's maxed out, but the spread of his damage makes him kind of...
He's very good in the sense that he can deal ridiculous damage in a team fight if you are out of position.
Like he's one of few heroes that can really like give him 2 rapiers and a battle fury, and he's just like, you know, Dusa can't really do that same. She'll do crazy damage, but you can just kill her. He's elusive and bopping around.
I think it has the connotation of you kind of want to be in there as a hyper carry as well. Like you want to be.
Those are like the manly, like Spectre, the manly.
Spectre, Void, Dusa, I think are definitely the top 3.
The top 3. Okay, that's fair enough.
I mean, Tiny can actually fulfill that role to a certain degree in this game.
Warlord?
Warlord is kind of like 50-50, yeah, because he has bash and he has scaling attack speed. But Tiny is interesting because he.
How much structure he does structure damage. That's one of his specialties. What about, does Lone Druid count since he has 12 item slots?
He has no scaling abilities. So he's pretty poop.
But he has twice as many items as everybody else.
Yeah, but I mean, putting him on the bear is like, the bear dies so easily late game.
That's true. Spectre can just fight the bear.
Yeah. I mean, imagine fighting a Spectre with 6 items, right? And she Manta styles. Every single hit also desolates as well. Like and it doesn't even work against evasion. So like, or evasion doesn't work against desolate, so you would just get annihilated.
Okay, that's fair enough. We'll see a smoke here from NaVi. Always want to fly. Uh-oh, walks into the danger zone at the wrong time. Walrus Punch, Waning Rift, and Undying will secure the kill there. NaVi get their second one up on the scoreboard. This has turned into a pretty quiet mid-game here. This is usually when the team fight starts to erupt, but oh, there's the Blink Dagger on Tiny. Shows it off right onto Puck. Dendy falls straight away, but now the Coconut. Bouncing around like crazy from hero to hero. Wisp has to break his tether. Death Ward does some decent damage. Centaur ults away, and it looks like Iceberg as well as Vincere will be able to survive the onslaught.
That was a really late Centaur ulti, actually.
He was trying to see if he could relocate. Because Vincire's level 8 now, holy crap.
Slardar's got his Blink Dagger now as well. The Blink Brothers are in town, and here we go, right onto Funnick. Goes for the toss, but gets a creep by accident. That probably would have been a dead Undying if he made it.
Yeah, he was definitely dead there.
Oh,
I
boy.
think what happened was he tried to toss, but sometimes the ability will make you move into range of a creep rather than just tossing straight away. So maybe he walked forward instead, because it tosses the closest target.
That's true, actually.
It just means that he messed up his positioning a tiny bit.
Yep. Unfortunate, but... You know, I was thinking this NaVi lineup would be able to team fight really well, but I was also thinking the lanes would kind of go more in their favor. This has been a really quiet game, and CIS rejects are way ahead. They have 3k net worth advantage.
Yeah.
Just out of farming lanes here.
To be expected, though, from this lineup. Like, if you're not ahead by this point, you're doing something wrong. Like, you dual lane mid, you should win that lane. The dual lane bot...
Oh, here we go, right onto PSN. Toss up in the air, and Witch Doctor just gets executed.
He got the ward, though.
Oh, here we go. Bose comes in. Dream Coil on 2. Dendy drops the full combo. Wisp dies. Now Iceberg's left all alone. Snowball coming forward. The Bose backs out, and the Iceberg will be trapped in the ice shards. How poetic. Phase shift from Dendy as the Avalanche connects on 2. He's juking. He's jiving. Now Gorietz and Artez are in the mix, and they'll turn it around. They drop the hammer on the Tusk, and it's NaVi that get the short end of the stick on that one.
That Winter's Curse, though. That was beautiful. Stopping him.
Honestly,
that was sick nasty, dude.
Pavos blinking away actually got them all killed.
I was thinking about that as well.
As soon as he blinked, I'm like, that was not the blink away. Because the thing is, his toss and Avalanche were still on cooldown, right?
Yeah.
So he throws like 1 or 2 more auto attacks out. That Tiny's dead. Dendy doesn't have to stay in the area to commit another orb to throw out. They don't get cursed. They don't lose 3 heroes. Like, that blink away actually killed 3.
That was also sick from Iceberg, just juking and jiving. He knew where that orb was going to be, moved to the right side. That was... He made the space for that to happen.
Yeah, it's a very obvious orb, though, at the same time. Because in that situation, you pretty much only run 1 of 2 directions, and he's throwing it... well, actually, he did have vision. Never mind. They had a ward on the high ground.
Yeah, they did.
Never mind.
Okay, he saw it. Fine.
No. Dendy had a ward on the high ground.
Dendy had a ward. Well, they both do. Oh, no, it got... I don't know...
It got dewarded. No, it wasn't there at the start of the fight.
No, it wasn't.
It was up right before. So, yeah.
Okay,
big plays from the Titan. All right, so a little split push in here up top. Artez as well as always want to fly, pressuring the tier 1. Oh, where we at? That's what you're talking about, Shane. That's a Snako. Getting some pressure here in the mid. Oh, the soul rip just in time. Iceberg left all by his lonesome. Avos trying to chip away at him, but that's relocated
2 times with level 1 Craggy? That's actually so annoying.
Yes,
yeah, the AM did twice.
Oh my god. That's like Troll Warlord levels.
10% of the time, every time.
Alright, Gorietz comes in, wants the hook stomp, but can't quite find it. Now the orb across. Iceberg goes in onto Funnick, and again, Funnick gets off the soul rip. Now the team fight starts to break out. PSM gets his ult interrupted right away on the backside. Centaur ends up dying, and Artez, he'll be isolated over there. Centaur as well as the Slardar will be the 2 that fall. Can Iceberg and Vincere turn this around? It's not looking so hot. The Wisp is low, and the Wisp will fall. Iceberg gets the kill onto Undying before he goes down here, but it is a 3-on-1. The chase is on. And this Tiny will be turned into rubble. Oh, he brings down Hippo's first. He's on the run now. They will bring him down with auto attacks. Not quite as bad for the CIS rejects as I thought at first glance.
Yeah, but the problem is they lost 4 heroes, and they're supposed to be the team that's dominating at this stage in the game. Like, on paper, their lineup timing is much earlier than NaVi because NaVi has an AM. We did talk about the potential for the 4 Protect 1, but Havos is just at the fight. He's like, yeah, whatever, I'm here.
This ward actually on the high ground got vision of the Witch Doctor ulti, and they snowballed in on top. Like, it was actually... to protect the Witch Doctor, it was actually sick.
Yeah.
Like, Slider went on him, and then the snowball was in on top of the Slider.
Yeah.
So Dendy's recovered pretty well here. He's got his Blink Dagger. See a little dent in the gold graph. And what else is going on here? Funnick is just going to go straight Ags. I have actually not seen this in a competitive game yet.
It's ridiculous, actually. Like,
Brown Boots, straight Ag.
especially against 4 strength heroes.
That's a good point. It's really good here.
10.
They all lose 10 damage 190 maximum health, and I think level 4 decay does like what 130, 140 damage, something like that.
Yep. Let's see here. 140. Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So it actually deals 330 damage per use, and it's on a
gross.
4-second cooldown.
In a massive AoE, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does the AoE get bigger when you get the Aghanims?
No, it's still pretty big.
It's the same.
though.
Yeah. Okay. That would be really broken, I guess, if it was.
I mean, with 3 melee heroes on CIS, you can easily hit 3 or 4 at a time every single
Especially with
cast.
a dream coil on top of them. It's
Yes.
very easy to control.
It's actually super good.
So Tiny goes into the Aghanims now. Looks like Wisp may be thinking about a mech of sorts. Smoke rotation actually gets broken on the Winter Wyvern here, so the jig will be up for the CIS rejects. All right, auto camera, I'm not used to you.
You're doing fine.
NaVi just going to scoot to the back, and they will dodge this gank. All right.
Voss actually has quite a bit of farm right now.
Yeah.
I mean, considering the fact that he's been running around for the last couple of minutes, just having like the majority of his actually the Vlad's is done. He just needs to send out the courier.
Yep.
And then he already has Battle Fury too. He's doing quite well for himself. There's still something to be said for the mid game for CS rejects. They need to continually apply pressure. They haven't even taken the mid tier 1. They haven't taken offlane tower either. Sure, they've maintained their own towers, but I think NaVi are quite content to have Havos have space to farm.
Yeah, I get this feeling that they're going to wait for Iceberg to finish up his Aghanims now. He's only about 500 gold away, and that will really increase their damage output. Just having that cleave area. Oh, Dream Coil on 2. In comes Havos. He's going to start chipping away at the Wisp. Oh, Death Ward on the high ground. The orb cuts him across, and Wisp will die first. Iceberg going to get the Stampede, but it's just not enough here, Draskell. They'll give him the Walrus Punch, and that's a double kill for Dendy.
Nice.
That ward again.
Yeah, that ward is actually just doing so much work for them.
Just
really
about to
is.
expire, too. That's the value.
You've done your job. Good night, ward.
Uh-oh, now Artez hit by a coconut as well as a curse on the ground, but they won't follow up.
Okay,
and
they definitely... Did he have Snowball? He did not have mana.
Low on mana,
Okay, I was going to
okay.
say, if he had mana, he should have definitely gone on that.
3 min, please.
Okay. 3 minutes.
Okay.
A weird amount of time to stay. Usually it's like 1 minute or 2 minutes, but no, we're
Need
going
exactly
for
3 minutes
Yeah.
here.
What can you do in 3 minutes?
3. I
Run to
can
the
go upstairs
bathroom.
and get a monster. 3 minutes.
Nice plug, I like that.
Got him.
Easy.
That's pretty much all I got.
Let the dog out. I don't know.
This.
I mean, you can physically let it out, but you can't actually walk the dog.
And you
in
can't let
3
them
minutes.
back in. That's
Yeah.
the key.
That's true.
You come back and you
You have
hope
to
that it's
rely on
nice
somebody else
outside.
to let it back in.
Or just leave it open. I don't know.
Yeah. But I figure, given the current pace of the game, since NaVi are actually playing this not as the traditional 4 Protect 1, but more the AM is still contributing in these team fights, they're probably going to keep doing that until they start, or well, if they lose 1 or 2 fights. I have the hiccups, by the way. This is really annoying.
Oh, no.
Fuck.
You know, are there any actual tricks to get rid of the hiccups?
Holding my breath typically works.
Yeah.
Because I've never found one that works effectively. I don't
So-
get hiccups that often.
You breathe out the whole way. That's the way I fix it.
Yeah.
Just like really,
Like-
really deep breath.
The whole
Oh, okay.
cause of hiccups is your body trying to correct your breathing patterns.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah.
Is that actually
Your
there's science
diaphragm
behind this?
spasms, and it forces you to breathe in. Because
Okay.
you're actually breathing erratically, or at least your body thinks so. So you're supposed to,
Oh.
like,
Silly brain.
calm yourself, I guess.
Do you think fighting with the team is the correct play for anti-mage? Is it just because of tiny
It's
Wisp?
working out quite well, though.
It is. Well, in these fights, it was more they're finding people. They're finding the tiny Wisp on their own. You know, there's no initiation from CIS rejects.
If you look at what CIS rejects can do,
I mean, they've got
because
3 blink daggers.
yeah, exactly.
But in the fights that NaVi are finding,
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
They're getting the catch, yeah.
Mhm.
We've seen the Dream Coil start off most of
Yeah.
these engagements.
But it's kind of like
It's a lot down to warding though.
yeah, the vision is obviously very important, but I think it's the ideology of if we are split up in farming, like say we're away from our anti-mage, that means that with 3 blinks, he could very easily die right now.
Mhm.
That's the thing. Like, he doesn't have any way of getting out of a stun toss into a centaur or anything like that. He just dies. So if that's the way they're thinking of it, and they just want him at the fights, so if there's something that happens to him, there's other people in the area who can do something to help, then yeah, I can definitely see it working out. And so far, they've managed to do quite well with it. I mean,
Hey.
even though CIS Rejects have a kill lead, it doesn't really matter that much.
So I learned something.
Yeah.
The Tombstone has 14 HP. Hero auto attacks do 2 damage, so that 8 heal from the Soul Rip
Only heals
only
it for
heals
more than
8
half.
out of 14. I implied that it could heal the whole thing.
I didn't actually know.
I
either way.
didn't know that's how the mechanics worked on that. So thank you, Twitter person. Well done. Keeping us on our toes. So yeah, you can only heal it for at most like 60%.
That's still not that bad.
It's amazing.
And honestly, if he's gonna have an Aghanims at like 22 minutes right now, which seems like is most likely, maybe 23 minutes, or 22 and a half, somewhere around there. Listen, man, I had to think of when the creep spawned.
22 and a half.
So he gets that gold. he gets the Aghanims upgrade. He's also ridiculously tanky. I think that alone makes NaVi have a gigantic advantage because I actually think that Aghanims is so game-changing.
Okay.
I really like CIS Reject's team against it though, because of the amount of burst damage and control they have. They won't allow him to get off to the case. Sure, they have so many
But then
melee.
you gotta burst an Undying though.
You've got to remember how much strength it gives him as well. If he just gets like 4 decay stacks, he's
Yeah, I'm saying like if you initiate on him and then blow him up,
Oh, okay.
then he's useless. Then the item, everything's useless.
And you don't have anything for Witch Doctor.
But you can also say that about like any item, right?
Yeah, but it's more of a case in Dying.
You're saying like
because,
Blink Stun costs and shit.
Most Aghanims, you have to use it, and then it's an instant thing. You know what I mean? Like you have like Shadow Shaman wards that get stronger, but him it takes a long time in a fight for it to build up and be like super effective.
That's true. You can kind of play around it in that sense.
They
you do
wanna
make a good point.
Maybe take this?
They picked off Seneko. They get the tier 1 tower. They're pinging out Havost. They want him. Can they get him? They've got a Stampede. Winner's Curse. Artez goes in. Relocate. And oh boy, do they get him.
Did he actually catch him from fog?
Yep.
Because it's nighttime, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It wasn't pro enough to toggle the
So
vision.
that's why I thought he was at team fights. That right there.
Relocate back. Here we go. Dream Coil on 2. They'll be able to finish off the Wisp. Now Dendi PSM going in on Gorietz. He'll try TP home, but that's not going to happen. Now Iceberg all left by himself. No Wisp friend to take him home. He will try to TP, but Snowball gets it. And NaVi, although they lost 2 before that fight, they turn it around. They pick up 3 of their own.
How much health does Funnick have? This is
2K.
important science. 3 decay stacks, he's got almost 2,000 health.
Okay.
It's pretty ridiculous.
Got the Flesh Golem aura there, yeah. That's pretty good.
In my opinion, it's the most ridiculous thing in the world. I don't understand how this hero isn't just like picked and banned every game. Because here's the thing with Undying.
Everyone says, well, you still have to farm the Ags. That's like
the hero is literally built to win his lane. Of course you can farm an Aghanims on him.
Especially if you put Tusk with him.
Like, everyone sees him as a lane dominator. Okay, well, you're telling me a lane dominator can't farm 4,200 gold? That really isn't even that much. You can get that in 10 minutes. You can get more than that in 10 minutes.
Oh, he's done Dagon on Dendi. Did you talk about that yet?
No.
Yeah, it's going to be sick against the Wisp. You know, you just.
No, he went Yules.
He went Yules, yeah.
Oh.
I was like, wait a minute, he's actually going Dagon.
Yeah, I was like, that's...
I think it's pretty good against.
No, I think it's good too.
It's okay. It's good against Wisp. You just burst him
exactly,
down.
Yeah,
Wyvern's also squishy as well. And taking out Curse is big.
Tier 1 tower gets denied by Dendi. Slithering Crush on 2. Snowball in. It just barely clips Artez. Walrus Punch to follow up. Flesh Golem, Tombstone. It's the whole kit and caboodle. But Gorietz comes in to break it up. Dendi lifts the Waning Rift, but connects with the coil on just a few. Can they actually follow up for this? Yes, they can. Havost finishes off the Wisp. Centaur gets killed as a peripheral. And, yeah, that's a 2 for 0. Nice setup there by NaVi.
What's a kit and caboodle? I've heard people say it a lot.
Isn't it a British term? I always think of 101 Dalmatians. Like, the whole kit and caboodle. We're getting plenty of boodle for
everything. I don't know what the literal kit and caboodle is.
I think well, I don't know what a caboodle is. Boodle is like loot, kind of. Like, you know, like
get all the loot.
Yeah, like... It's all of it.
I think that's an apt explanation for what just happened. That was a very nice mana void, by the way.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
A lot of AM players would have been tempted to just mana void the freaking Wisp, right?
Oh, they're going in again, boys. They want the Winter Wyvern. She's silenced. She's brought down. They have to pay with their Tusk now. They also got the Tier 1 tower. Hasted up Dendi will be able to just scoot back. Funnick goes with the YOLO TP in the tree line. He'll be fine. And Slitherine Guard. Uh-oh, he's slithering on forward. Finds PSM. Hits him with an amp damage. Is the follow-up going to be there, though? Teammates are on the way. Coconut bouncing around, but it doesn't matter. The Witch Doctor, they'll cut off his dreads and stick him up his butt. Down he goes.
That one was a little bit weird.
Yeah, I don't know what
you lost me. I always just think of the dreaded dreads. That's one of my favorite items.
Okay.
Nobody uses the
dreaded
dreaded
dreads.
dreads anymore.
Is that why?
Well, everybody uses this silly little the beak of Stormcrow. I don't know what the hell's going on with that, but
what's that?
I like
his hat.
Yeah, well, you know, if he has the hat on, then he can't wear his dreads. So
yeah,
it's unfortunate. I like Bonkers with the dreads because he plays with the hair. It fits the lore a little bit better.
Ah, I see.
This Tiny's getting big though, Draskell.
Yeah.
He's got the Womp and Willow now.
Got a lot of damage, but I think it's going to be one of those problems where they have a lot of lockdown for him already.
Cool.
Yep.
Havost, he's on the run. Oh, he gets caught by the combo. They don't have the
alright, yeah.
So.
He's just going to walk it off.
Especially when they get a Solar Crest on Tusk as well. It's going to be very, very difficult for Tiny.
I want to say he probably will go BKB this game, the AM.
Yeah, you need to.
He's been fighting so much that I actually think that he'll just buy BKB. He's going to have Manta soon. Did they just go Roche with this, or did they go for a fight? When they see
towards the Roche pit.
Yeah,
Yep.
they're just going in. They have Vlads. This is easy Roche.
We talked to Hill Vlads.
And BKB now up on the Slardar. I like how they're showing the Seneko mid as well, so it's not quite as obvious. He's backed up, but
Just a little peek.
nice little heads-up play there. Yeah. Roche is tanky.
Yeah, I mean they don't have any minus armor.
Yeah.
This is a fairly
Well, they
safe
do,
Roche
but
then.
it's on the Tusk.
Oh, they haven't been
He's not
doing
actually
that.
helping them.
Yeah, he's not there. Uh-oh, you guys got it. Uh-oh, in comes Artez. He's going to break up the party. Tombstone on the high ground. This is the 10-second BKB. But both getting bashed up like crazy. Winner's Curse comes out on the Dendi. This could be a disaster here for NaVi. The Tombstone is going to do some work, though. Gorietz, he'll hop into the Ice Cube. The Cold Embrace keeps him okay. They've already lost the Witch Doctor. Funnick, he's still alive. He's got so much damn strength, but can they bring him down? Snowball in will finish off the Centaur. Now always going to fly, caught by the Walrus Punch. Iceberg's on the high ground. He gets the Tombstone. Roche is damn low, and everyone on CIS rejects are as well. Dendi now, he's bought back. The blink out from Tiny. Dendi not going to find him, but now NaVi, they want to commit to Roche. Iceberg
The Amp's alive as well. They can finish this. The Amp is giving him vision though. He wants to go back in.
Oh, the crush right onto 2. Funnick getting slapped around a little bit, but there's a Dream Coil. Habos is going to try to finish it. They'll get the Roche. Aegis goes the way of the Anti-Mage. Now Yule's set up onto the Tiny. Iceberg's going to have to pay with his life here. A risky play from NaVi, but in the end it works out. They get the Roche, and they take a pretty decent team fight as well.
How do you kill Funnick when
The
you
Undying
get
actually,
so
like-
many decay stacks?
At one point he had 2,800 health.
Oh, Gorietz, is he dead here as well? Mana Void? Oh, Havos didn't quite pull out the calculator on that one. One more hit was all he needed.
I think it's strange that Tusk didn't help them with the Roshan though.
Especially since he had
He
the medallion.
probably thought that it was very safe because they smoked in.
Yeah.
So maybe he just assumed that they didn't need him. And like I was saying, it's like they're always at full HP. If they didn't have Vlad's and Witch Doctor heal, they probably would have died there because Funnick was actually quite low despite having a ridiculous amount of total health. He just got really low a few times.
It was also the Tombstone. He put it in the perfect spot up on the
Yeah,
high ground
on the
here,
ledge, yeah.
and they didn't deal with it until the fight was basically over already.
And the ice shards pushing Tiny up onto the cliff was actually pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, that actually nearly won them the fight, in my opinion.
Oh, it was the ice shards that put him up.
I think
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Oh, I thought he like blinked. I thought he backed out.
I don't
and
think
blinked
you
up to try and-
voluntarily clip yourself in that situation.
Well, I thought he just wanted to kill the Tombstone. Uh-oh, speaking of situations, Dendi gets taken out in the mid. A lot of burst damage there. Oof.
So I actually think that in this particular game, maybe having a Lotus Orb instead of Yule's would be better for him.
On Dendi?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, I like the movement speed
To
from
remove
Yule's.
the slider?
Well, not just that, but because you have Triss Curse on the other
Yeah,
team as well.
yeah.
Like, it's a very good spell to reflect. You can put it on your AM, you can put it on yourself, and you can just do what you want. Since, I mean, Havos has been at all the fights. So if you have BKB on him, which is probably his next item, and you have Lotus Orb on top of that, it means the Wyvern really can't use anything on him.
That's true. Yeah.
So that he can just go in, pop Manta, blow somebody up, and then you're already fighting a 4v5.
I like that. Smoke now picked up by the Winter Wyvern. I wonder if they'll get aggressive with this Aegis or if they'll just wait for the CIS rejects to step a bit too far forward.
I don't think you're too panicked against this team. You want to take it slow. Like, the last thing you want to do against a Tiny with Aghanims is lose a silly fight and then just lose your
Yeah,
objective.
That's true, and they're still farming pretty nicely here. Glimmer Cave now out on the Undying, and Seneko closing in on a mech.
Look how close PSM is to BKB as well. I guess he's going BKB because he has 1.6.
It looks like
Oh god, he's dead. There's a ward there, you fool.
it. Oh my.
Okay, so if you are very attentive to detail in this situation, you notice that he blinked from fog, and you absolutely know there's a ward there. Because you can't see him from the angle that he came in, as we're going to see. Bottom, I think, engaging as well.
Oh, good call. Snack used by Van Score. Can they actually catch him here? Yep, they'll have to burn the Dream Coil to do it, though. 2 seconds until he hops out, and they've got the damage.
Yeah.
All right, we'll pick off there. Not so shabby. And a double damage for Havost. Ooh.
They spotted.
They saving it for the bottle? Yeah.
Okay.
So Funnick is going to let him hold on to it. Yep. Cool.
Nice.
Now, Tiny got that last kill, and his BKB, I think it's still on the Courier. Yep, they haven't revealed it yet.
Just flew over
just
the
flew over
creeps.
creeps. Okay, well, the jig is up, boys. 2 minutes on the Aegis, and
Does he
NaVi will
have a
try to
TP?
pressure a tower.
No. No TP scroll. Yeah, he's going for the BKB on anti-mage.
All right.
Yeah, I think it's
Early
conducive to
tombstone.
their style of play right now. Like, there's no reason not to buy it if you're going to be at every single fight.
Very true.
Yeah, there it is.
The other thing is it's going to be such a nice timing because they have map control right now. He has the core items that he needs, and it's going to be a 10-second BKB. Which means a curse isn't going to do anything. They can actually base dive with that kind of potential, right? Because Funnick is very farmed. Dendy's getting his farm on too.
What's Iceberg doing? Why is he?
He's probably gonna kill that and go buy a TP.
Yeah, sell the stick. Yeah, okay.
He's just farming away. I mean, he just saw him 5-man push the tier 2, so just trying to farm where it's safe for now. Get a little greedy here, moving to the lane. So what's the further item trajectory for Tiny here? He's got his 10-second BKB. Do you just go like Assault Kuros at this point?
Butterfly or Kuros.
Moonshard's pretty good as well.
Yeah, actually, it's Moonshards if you want to split push. Okay, this is what?
Alright, he uses the BKB. Seiko punches him. Remember, he doesn't have a TP here, but he will get the Blink Dagger. That was a lackluster 10-second BKB charge.
I honestly think he should have relied on Tani or Vincere there to relocate him.
Well, now he's just going to die. It's going to be a Manta, and Pavos is just going to chase him down. Stampede comes from the Centaur.
He's going
Pops the ulti as well. Is there any
Blink
follow-up?
Craggy. Oh. The next level play is you blink back into the AM and you get a Craggy proc, and then you just walk it off. And then you're like, yeah, get
I mean, that's the swag play, but
yeah.
That's the gambler's play as well.
I mean, the thing is, he swung like 4 times without getting Craggied, so you primed that, you know? PRD. Actually, it's not PRD.
Look at Vincere.
Is it not?
No,
it's totally random?
I don't think it is.
I think it's just
Are more things PRD or are more things just straight random in Dota?
I think
shifting
it's
now to be less random, right?
If it's attack based, I think it's PRD. So like if you have to hit for it to work, then it's PRD. But if you have to be hit, then it's not PRD.
Well, isn't Axe's PRD now?
That's not
Pseudo random? Yeah, I don't know if that logic holds up.
No, it doesn't.
Because Axe, I know his is not totally random anymore.
Oh, you mean Helix?
Yeah, counter Helix, yeah.
Oh yeah, maybe. I don't know.
He has to get hit for that. You can't apply logic to Dota mechanics. I thought you would have learned that by now.
I think it's actually the thing people complain about the most. Like it's nerf. Like Spearbreaker, he's OP, nerf.
Yeah. Although now it just stings more when he bashes you 3 times in a row. It used to be like, oh, lucky. Now you're like, ultra lucky. Yep. It's not supposed to happen.
A mega low chance now, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so Slardar gets a Vlad's as his third kind of core item here. Some split pushing from Iceberg up top, takes down the tower. Does get a Hyperstone. So either the Moonshard or the AC. Open-ended.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And Tusk maybe thinking about some Guardian Greaves here at some point.
Yeah, I like Guardian Greaves on Tusk. I think actually, more often than not, when I play the hero, I prefer to go for the mech build than I do damage nowadays.
Really?
Yeah, it just seems like between Sigil, having the control that you do in a fight, the ability to save a teammate with Snowball, like your utility is through the freaking roof.
Yeah.
And having a mech on top of that
It's like the Shadowblade Desolator build is fun, but only when you're just balling out of control. It's like this. It's kind of like playing Bounty Hunter. It's really fun when you're stomping, but the consistent build is that utility based.
Yeah, I feel that way, personally. What were you going to say, Shane?
The Super Shadowblade's pretty good against Tiny.
Silver Edge?
Yeah.
Super Shadowblade.
It is, though.
It's pretty descriptive.
Yeah, I think, no, that is definitely a fair point. Disables Craggy.
Yeah, and allows Anti-Mage to go in on him.
But I mean, if AM has a BKB, he doesn't need the Silver Edge.
Oh, they're lining up on Funnick here. The smoke rotation from the rejects. Here we go. Slithering Crush in. They're just going to bash him down. A relocate to boot. Man, oh man.
Oh my god.
They brought the pain to that one.
They still have a Fortify.
Yeah,
they're going to use it for the tier 2.
It's fine to commit this though, because they guarantee a tower at least.
Well, it's like Shane talked about. If you can jump on the Undying, that's almost your prime target to start a fight. Winner's Curse on the Goria. It's not going to do a hell of a lot. They're going to get the Witch Doctor on the backside here. Havos is BKB'd. He's coming on in. Tiny trying to chase back the supports. That's lackluster 10-second BKBs all around this game.
This is actually a really good situation though for CIS. Like they actually needed that kind of fight to happen, where NaVi kind of scramble to try to defend. They lose 2 heroes. Now they don't have BKB on the AM, which is going to make it a lot harder for him to go in, and they don't have Glyph.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden they could potentially get racks.
Yeah, I think is... Ooh, go ahead, Shane.
The second amplified damage is on Havos, and he's used his Manta style already. You have to back up, because the amount of physical damage that CIS rejects have is too much for you.
Yeah. They actually are in really big trouble right now.
Yeah, that's where you regret glyphing that tier 2 if you don't think they're going to siege high ground. Tiny will just finish off the melee barracks. Now the coil comes out on 3, but they don't even seem to care. They're just going to stand through it, finish off the range barrack. Now Havos pops in. There's the Manta, but BKB Slardar hits him with a crush. Havos taking huge damage. The Soul Rip isn't enough, but remember, he had the Aegis. No, he didn't. He lived. I lied. Okay.
Snowball.
Snowball. That's the one that reset it. Now Vincere, he'll get finished off. Dendi hops in the middle of the fight. There's Death Ward doing a lot of damage to Iceberg. He goes down, and Always Wanna Fly will get left behind. He'll try to TP home, and they actually don't have the interrupt. He'll be able to make it out. But a good hold from Navi. No buybacks used there. Well, can you really call it a hold? They lost both their barracks.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a win for CIS. Maybe a little bit sloppier than they would have hoped for.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're going to be given an opportunity like that again. So if I were in their shoes, I'd probably just try to push in top, like just 5-man it. Just go for the gold, because you know Glyph's on cooldown for a couple more minutes right now. If you get the double racks, there's only one hero on Navi who are really good at split pushing, and that's the AM. So he's going to have to be dedicated to pushing those lanes out all the time, and you want him to be in that situation. Like, 1 lane is manageable, but 2 is so difficult.
Thought he had the Aegis so hard there. I was so confident.
He got snowballed.
Yeah. The Aegis expired like a minute or 2 before that fight.
Right.
It's not so bad, though. He's got his 9-second BKB. They'll get this tier 2 tower, it looks like, though. There is a glyph. CIS Rejects may hold on to it just in case this becomes a high ground siege.
Not make the same mistake.
Certainly will. Yeah, they're gonna learn from Navi's mistakes here, but not going to be the high ground siege they were expecting.
Yeah, I actually think if they didn't glyph that tier 2, maybe that fight didn't even happen.
Exactly.
You know?
Does Nico finish Guardian Greaves or go Blink, Andy? Right now, quick.
I think he goes Blink. I mean, the Greaves themselves don't really offer you anything, right?
Yeah, they removed the Slardar buff, they removed the Tether debuff.
But I mean for like your teammates.
Having a little bit of armor on anti-mage when he's low HP. When the Slardar is focusing with all the high physical damage.
But what if you just blink in and snowball him? Doesn't that save him more than...
Yeah, it definitely does, yeah.
BKB's up on the Witch Doctor now as well, so that's something else they're going to have to deal with. That's a huge pickup.
They actually have no way of stopping it outside of Bash, right? Or Toss, actually.
Winter Wyvern.
Oh, they smoked right under
if they target it on him. But they can't target on anyone else.
Exactly, yeah. And that's a...
Alright, so CIS Rejects saw the smoke. I think this is a trap. They're pinging it out. Okay. Take a look at Dire Vision. They only see a couple of them. Uh-oh. Are you going to spring this trap, silly Yugi? Havost, he loses his smoke.
Oh, they send in Funnick.
Always want to fly, goes in. Funnick in the front lines. Goriot. The hook stomp goes right onto PSM. They'll bring him down first, but they had to lose their Winter Wyvern. Both teams trading a big support with their ultimates on cooldown. Now the BKBs get popped up plenty. Havost taking a lot of damage. Gets off a Mana Void. Vincere just barely lives, but not for long. He'll get brought down by Havost. Goriot does a lot of damage to himself to try and do the return damage. It's just not enough. NaVi have the damage to take this fight. The Whomping Willow takes down Undying. Maybe they don't have enough. The Bash Brothers are in town, and they're going to get another one. They'll bring down the Tusk. That makes it a 3-for-3. And now the Great Chase. All the elusive heroes are left alive, and Iceberg says, hell, let's just go into Roche, buddy. You've got that minus armor.
Actually need a Lotus Orb so badly on Navi.
They really do.
Like, the Slardar is actually just destroying them. Because the thing is, when you have a massive amount of HP, the best counter to mass HP is minus armor. Pretty much, just like hands down. So, if you don't have a significant amount of armor already, is he going for this?
Yep.
Oh, not quite.
He missed it and died.
He got craggied.
That hurts. So, did he really? He got craggied?
So, yeah. I think so. Or it was a Bash, one or the other. I didn't know.
Either way, that hurts.
He was stunned. I don't know what it was.
Well, I mean, are Navi far enough behind that you need to go for that play? I
think so.
I actually think because it's a tiny wisp that you want to go for that play.
You kind of have to, yeah.
Because if you give him the Aegis, then you're just still opening yourself up for a high ground push. And
Okay. Beautifully done. Now Iceberg comes in. The Boast is on his tippy toes here, but the Token not going to start bouncing around. Oh, that's unfortunate. Right into the creeps, and they're just going to go for the barracks here, or the top tier 3 rather. Tiny still has his BKB. He'll have the Aegis for quite some while. ND can buy back here, but of course he doesn't want to. And CIS Rejects will wait for their teammates here to rendezvous. Oh. Ghost Scepter on Wisp, and Goriet's, he's got an Aghanims all of a sudden on this Centaur. So they've got another get out of jail free card, but Initiation comes out onto Iceberg. Glimmer Cape.
He had the Ags in the last time.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What's Funneck's next item, Shane? Can you click on?
I think
Undying.
Shiva's?
Yeah. No, it's Lotus maybe? If he doesn't get Lotus, I would be so shocked. Like, just to be able to have another Dispel for the AM would be so good.
AC's pretty good as well. For Witch Doctor and Anti-Mage.
Yeah.
You know, they want to deal with the physical damage. It's not bad too.
I mean, he's obviously saving for buyback right now.
Yeah, yeah.
I think, yeah. I guess AC is better than Shiva's.
Alright. Here we go. Glyph is used here. Navi need to be careful now. It's just barracks left. Tabosco's hopping in, and that's going to cost him. They've got a lot of damage. He pops the BKB, but it's not enough. He'll be the first to fall in this fight, and now Navi are starting to crumble. Seneco's the second to go down. Funnick stunned by Artez. The BKB Slardar gives him the bash to the face. Now Havos jumps in onto Vincere after buying back here, but he gets bashed. He gets brought down. It's a bloody dieback for the anti-mage. A triple kill for the Slardar, and I think Draskel's right on the money. The GG gets called.
Yeah.
You gotta hump it into submission sometimes, Shane.
I mean, every once in a while, you just gotta walk up and just give somebody the dry hump, I guess.
I think
That's what a giant mountain does, right?
It is. Dry hump?
Yes. I mean, it's a
Oh, I
living
forgot to
mountain.
turn off my dead mouse music. That's probably obnoxious in the game.
No, I like it.
Ah, that's all good.
The sad one's not great though, and then when you lose, it's super sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we always win, Shane, because we're the
That's true.
observers.
That's
Woo!
true.
There you go.
Well, that was a pretty interesting game one, though.
Man, there were so many small things. Like, that game was actually lost solely by tiny mistakes.